to be roasted lamb, but I could only find beef. So prep is super simple. It's just 1 head of garlic and shallots or onions if you have onions, cleaned and then cut skin on in half. And I coat the vegetables in olive oil so they don't burn super fast. You could also drizzle on top when it's in the pan. And I've been wanting to make this for a long time. I think the lamb looks much nicer with this, but I used what I had. And you could also just use a standard sheet pan for this, but I think it's easier to make the sauce if you just cook everything in a big pot like this. The next thing is the next step is to pick a bunch of herbs. I have some sage, I have some rosemary, and I have a little bit of thyme. This is going to go on top of the roast. And the last thing that's supposed to go on top of the roast are tomatoes, but I broke all the vines on the tomatoes, so it's kind of hard to leave it on top of the dish. But yeah, cover the herbs and tomatoes in olive oil. And if you watch Marco Puro White, you know what's coming next. Olive oil, beef stock cube, mash it together. This might be the first time actually using beef stock cube as a paste like this. I think I've only done it one other time when I was making Heston Blumenthal's chicken recipe. And it's actually kind of harder to mash than it looks. I feel like they probably edit Marco's videos a lot. Anyways, put the paste on the meat. And this is some chuck. And you can cut off any of the fat or like gelatin looking pieces, but I go ahead and just use it all. And I coat with a generous amount of stock cube because this is pretty big. I did need to re-season the sauce before putting it on the meat again. And I just put everything else in the pot, including the herbs and tomatoes. The tomatoes all fall, but it was whatever. And I lost this footage, but I put it in the oven and I put a meat thermometer in it. You're gonna have to trust me, I did it. And as for the temperature of the oven, I think I did it 325 or 350. Something that's not too hot. And then I cooked it until the internal temperature reached, I think it was 125 degrees Fahrenheit. Then I had to take out the meat to let it rest while I made the sauce, and there's way more liquid in the pot than I thought there was going to be. But I still had to add a tiny bit of bouillon. I didn't use Knorr, I used I think Better Than Bouillon. I'm trying it out. It's pretty good. And as for all the tomatoes and shallots and onion, I just fished that out along with the meat. And when making the sauce, you get a lot of options. You could add more herbs if you have it. If it's slightly too bland, I recommend adding a little bit more bouillon. And if you like your sauce very, very light, you could just leave it as is like I did and just reduce slightly. As for the meat, I cut into quite like medium to large chunks. And actually, the following day, I would cut the leftovers and simmer it in a little bit of stock to make roast beef sandwiches, which is really good. Of course, I did not film that. And to serve, I just take my chunks and add some tomatoes and some garlic. I don't know how you're supposed to eat this, so I just use bread, or toast, I mean. I think with lamb, rice would taste better. Anyways, that's all the footage I have. Thank you for watching.